My name is John Presco. It's October 3rd, I believe, 2018. I'm going to read from Tom Snyder's When You Close Your Eyes. This is about the abuse in the family, and a lot of it's violated my copyright. He attributes my Aunt Lillian to being the one that saved Christine from having her hair pulled out when it was me. Okay, as young Christine climbed into the lap of her, or straddled his leg with obvious pleasure, Vic not only allowed but encouraged it. If the behavior was obvious, it was ignored by Rosemary. And finally, it took the embarrassment of having Christine climb atop his leg in front of guests for Vic to act. He slapped his daughter, pushed her away with an unexpected fury that undoubtedly formed part of her lifelong terror of being rejected. Had that been the end of it, the wound might have had a chance of being healed. But Vic found his own pleasure in Christine's attentions, and to his eternal discredit, continued on. He took her with him in the family car on long rides that could not help but elaborate even deeper conflicts in a girl who would be burdened by them until her death. Equally important is that, like most survivors of sexual abuse, the episodes would soon be blacked out in Christine's mind, remaining so for decades. Precisely how much incest was visited upon the children and grandchildren by Vic and Rosemary Presco is not known and need not be repeated here. What is clear, though, is that the effects echo through generations of the family. If Rosemary had direct knowledge of Vic's behavior, she never made that public, though it could certainly have contributed to the fury she later loosed on Vic, along with her deepening need to control men, if only for the moment. And it must have added to the jealousy and near constant anger that Rosemary expressed towards Christine as a young girl grew ever more beautiful and vulnerable. Rosemary became her daughter's chief tormentor. More than once, while visiting the Presco home, Lillian found Rosemary beating Christine with her fist or pulling her daughter's hair out by the handful, and she was forced to drag her sister away from the child. Rifts were also developing in Rosemary's relationships with others, even those outside her immediate family. No doubt some of her frustration and annoyance was fueled by the differences between Vic's accomplishments compared with those of her sister's husbands, Dick Monar. Dick Monar was by then doing quite well as a stockbroker, and Lillian was blooming in a way no one would have predicted from her school years spent in Rosemary's shadow. By contrast, Vic Presco was working as a route man, distributing cornflakes. Okay. I had 5 hours of tape interviews for that Lillian. And then they hired Tom Snyder, who happened to live in the same trailer court in Ventura. And when I called up Lillian to talk about the book I was writing, she said, another author's coming to interview me. Now this is my Aunt Lillian, talking despairingly about her sister, saying how she had to save Christine from her. Tom Snyder is a hired ghostwriter. He got paid money. He's talking about the abuse of children for money. Most all books that talk about this are written by the victims themselves. Lillian's not a victim of this abuse by her sister and brother-in-law, but she's doing it for fame. to be in the book, to get some attention. And that's what they fought over. They both dated Errol Flynn. This is we're talking about how Christine would get up, get up in the morning when she'd stay in the summer and start cleaning up the house because she was beaten and programmed that way. I'll take a little break here. See, this is why I got upset. Because I trusted Kim Hafner downstairs with this book, believing she was professional. She worked at a nurse, worked at the Johnson unit, and I wanted her to read this. I wanted her to, I believe she had psychology training, and see the holes through this. I wanted to get her opinion without me jading it, without telling her what to look for. I wanted her to make notes. And then tell her what's really wrong with these statements. But she claims she didn't read it, and I gave it to her with pages not bent over. And this resulted in me being attacked and viciously accused of being an abuser and mentally deranged, someone to be feared. It's an outrage. I know what's in this book. And the Presco children are being abused again by outsiders who want to come out with the first book and make a movie, and none of the profits will be going to my nieces. That's why they competed with me. Tom Sender said a non-disclosure agreement. He wanted me to sign it. I said, if I sign it, does it mean I can't write about my sister? Well, he said, yeah. I said, well, I'm not going to sign it. Then he says, well, I've been talking with lawyers, and they want to play hardball with you to get you to sign this non-disclosure agreement. I says, go for it, get them. And my Aunt Lillian betrayed me. She went over to their side, betrayed her sister, and betrayed the Presco children who were abused. So I've got an art show. My camera's been acting up. I have an art show coming up. My painting's up right now. It's of me and Christine taken from a photograph in 1976. I'm at her house, and I got my arm around her. I'm looking lovingly down at her, and she's looking lovingly at me. And in this painting, you don't see our faces. And I talk about us being members of Alcoholics Anonymous and how we were victims of incest, and I wanted the people to identify with this painting. I turn this off. I don't want these videos to be too long.